everyone, this is Sanya. I'm a data analyst and today I'll be talking about normal distribution and standard deviation, Gaussian curve or a bell curve. Most of our data set tend to achieve normal distribution. For example, height of people. If we plot a graph for height of people, it will be actually a bell curve. So there will be very few people with shorter height and there will be very few people with taller heights. So most of the data will be covered here which people have between 5 to 6 inch of height, and when we move to find people with more than 6 inch of height, we'll actually try, this curve will actually decrease because there will be lesser people with more than 6 inch of height. Now most of the data points are clustered around this peak. The very nice property of normal distribution is mean, mode and median are all same points, and this is where it lies. In my previous video I would have told in normal distribution always mean, mode, median is just one point. There is no skewness in data and there is no kurtosis in normal distribution. Now next I'll tell you what is standard deviation before I tell you what are these rules we have in normal distribution. Standard deviation is dispersion of data set relative to its mean. Its formula says square root of variance. So this is how its formula look like. This is square root of, and the inner part is variance. X bar means this is the mean of the data set. This is each point of data set. We find the distance between it, square it, sum all of it, and then divide by n minus 1. For sample, we always divide by n minus 1 rather than dividing by n. And finally, we square root it to get the standard deviation. So now standard deviation is mostly used in finance sector. For stocks with greater standard deviation will be far away from its mean. Hence the price range will be very higher. So these kind of stocks are very volatile. Now let's see how is standard deviation calculated. So now here I have marks of students in class. I have collected 8 students here. The average mean of these marks will come as 5. The averages just get calculated by summing all of them and dividing by n. Now I want to calculate the dispersion of each point from its mean. So what I do is 2 minus 5, 5 is the mean, 2 is the data point, 2 minus 5 and squaring it. That comes as 9. I do this for all the data points and then calculate its value. So we get these points. Now I want to know variance. Variance is sum of these dispersion and then dividing it by n minus 1. So by summing all of these and dividing by, we get value as 4. Now as I told, standard deviation is square root of variance. We have got the variance as 4. The square root of 4 will be 2. So hence we have calculated standard deviation for this data set as 2. You do not have to calculate every time standard deviation. It is very easy. Excel has a function to calculate it. In Python also you will find function to calculate this. You do not have to do manual calculations every time. Now getting back to what is normal distribution. So now we know what is standard deviation. I'll tell you what happens in this normal distribution curve. We have a rule of 68, 95, 99. What is this rule? When we move one standard deviation from mean, the area covered will be 34.1%. And when we move one step backward standard deviation, the same area, 34.1% of area will be covered. So in total, one standard deviation covers 68.2% of area. Now, if we move 2 standard deviation, the area covered will be 45.75%. Similarly, when we move 2 standard deviation back, same area will be covered. In total, 2 standard deviation covers 95.5% of area. Now, same happens for 3 standard deviation. When we move 3 standard deviation from mean and Backward also, the total area that will be covered is 99.7%. This is the rule of normal distribution. This is how the data is distributed in normal distribution. It is very easy to predict any points in normal distribution now. So I want to know where a particular point lies in this graph. So say mean is around 11 in this graph, and I want to see what will be the y value of point 10. So 10 will lie somewhere here, and it is easy for us to predict that y will be somewhere around here. So it is very easy to predict the points of normal distribution curve. That was it for today. Please comment on the comment section how did you find the content of this video. Please like to my channel, please. That was it for today. Please comment on the comment section how did you find the content of this video. I will be coming up with more such videos. Please like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.